Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara. Today we are discussing the July Buddy Read thriller title. If you would like to see this in video format without the ad breaks, you'll need to head on over to Patreon and sign up. Along with ad-free video podcast episodes, you'll gain access to after shows, reading vlogs, and other exclusive content. If you're not into Patreon and you happen to be listening on the Spreaker podcast app, you too now have access to the after shows and other exclusive content in audio only. If you prefer videos, including reading vlogs, which require video, you should check out Patreon instead. Join me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Club's app for even more bookish chats. Please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you're listening. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is feature co-host Classy from the Bookish Virtual Assistant. Welcome back, Classy.
Hello, Tamara. Happy summer.
Yes, it's hot.
I know. That's why I say happy summer. I was looking at the bottom of my computer. It's late and it's 86 degrees.
I got 82 on my temperature.
Mostly sunny. So happy summer.
Yeah, happy summer. Tell everyone where they can find you online.
Just like you, on most social media platforms, you can find me at Classy Green. Instagram is Classy Green 1 because somebody tried to take my name.
Shame on them.
I know. And you can find me the Bookish Virtual Assistant as well on all platforms.
Okay, so before we get started, I always want to remind you that with Book Chats, we talk full spoilers here. So spoiler alert, you have been warned. Today, we are discussing the book Where Sleeping Girls Lie, written by Faridah Àbíké-Íyímídé. The audiobook is narrated by Natalie Simpson. Published on March 14th, 2024 by Fuel and Friends and Macmillan Audio. I don't know why I couldn't say Macmillan today. It's fine. 416 pages in hardcover, and the unabridged audio comes in at 16 hours and 57 minutes. Classy, would you kindly share the synopsis?
Absolutely. It's like I keep tumbling into a dark room, searching for the switch to make things bright again, to make me remember, but the switch isn't there. Was it there before? Sadeh Hussein is starting her third year of high school, this time at the prestigious Alfred Nobel Academy boarding school. After being homeschooled all her life and feeling like a magnet for misfortune, she's not sure what will happen. What she doesn't expect, though, is for her roommate Elizabeth to disappear after her first night, or for people to think she had something to do with it. With rumors swirling around her, Sadeh catches the attention of the most popular girls in school, collectively known as the Unholy Trinity, and they bring her into their fold. Between learning more about them, especially
Persephone?
Yes, and I heard this name so many times. Persephone, who Sadeh finds herself drawn to, playing catch-up in class and trying to figure out what happened to Elizabeth, Sadeh has a lot on her plate. It doesn't help that she's already dealing with grief from the many tragedies in her family. And then a student is found dead. The more Sadeh investigates, the more she realizes there's more to Alfred Nobel Academy and its students than she realizes. Secrets lurk around every corner and beneath every surface, secrets that rival even her own.
Okay. As we do, high level, what did you think when you finished the book?
I was bored out of my senses.
Girl. Me too.
When it ended, I was like,
I made it.
The tortures, right. I also thought, if this wasn't a damn buddy read, this book would have been
Yeah, it would have been DNF'd for me too.
Quick.
I agree. To be fair, I picked this without I didn't even read the synopsis really.
Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't either.
Really, really liked
Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
It was so good to me.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, oh yeah, this would be good too. I feel like it's going to be a hit right out the gate. And I was unfortunately wrong. And when I looked at the reviews, of course, there's not that many right now. There's about 6,000
Mhm.
And that rating on Goodreads is 4.06 right now out of 5. And I'm like, why are y'all lying?
And
Why
it was
are
a
you
4 when we
lying?
originally picked this book. And
Yeah.
audience, we picked books, what, like 3 months in advance?
Mm-hmm.
So it was still at a 3, at a 4, or close to it at that time.
They lying. Or either I missed what the chokehold is. Either it went over my head or the plot twist came too late for me. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
seeing more people love this than didn't love it. And I'm like, why am I in the minority
Yeah,
always?
yeah. I am that outlier, and I was like, I can't wait to discuss this with you. And immediately, and I think I text you that, like, because at first I was drawn in, like, with the audio. Um, what did she say? It was something at the beginning, and it was repeated like a reverb, and I was like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, audio production.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm.
was it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was like, yes, they've done it, you know. Um, but it was just, it was something about it that just did not draw me in like Ace of Spades. The things, and here's the other thing, I didn't read the synopsis either. But after
Mm-hmm.
reading the synopsis now, knowing what I know, that synopsis doesn't really even make sense. It's like a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I
Like
read it
what?
now, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not even mysterious.
No.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Even after reading it, and I'm like, but like you, I agree too. But I don't
Yeah.
know if even if we would have read the synopsis, we still probably would have picked this book just because, for one, it's a Black author who writes YA mystery, which
Mm-hmm.
is, is a unicorn in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we are trying to read more diverse books.
Right.
So, and I was looking forward to this because, and with her books, I will say that though, I will give her this.
Mm-hmm.
In her books, even as a Black author, her characters, she does have a diverse line of characters in her books.
She does.
Yeah. And um you don't find that often. I know, like, when I hear you guys talk on the fantasy, um, in the fantasy chat and Discord, you always talk about how, or it's not a lot of diversity, or the way they describe the people is not that great. And I do like that about Faraday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did notice, like, at the beginning when she would describe her other characters, it was always the blonde, the so
Mm-hmm.
and so with the long hair, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who is and I said, and I know it could be like a parody of
It's like the opposite.
how right, that's what I
Uh-huh.
was thinking. Like,
Uh-huh.
white authors, when they describe us, it's barely like, you just like, is she Black? Is she not Black? Wait a minute, that's how she describes our Black hair? And
Mm-hmm.
Faraday made sure she was like the one with the ice blue eyes,
Yeah.
blonde hair, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so now I know exactly who is white, who is, of Asian or South Asian descent, and who is a Black character. So I will give her that as a plus.
Yeah.
But this book,
It's a
it took
snooze
forever.
fest.
It took forever.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, okay, yes, it's been a very long time since I've been in high school, but these kids, like, they didn't really talk like high schoolers to me.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, and to be honest, these are snooty students with money. I can't imagine all these white boys tripping over themselves for this dark-skinned girl. It seems weird.
Yeah. Even though we find out, why they were tripping over themselves because of their little their
Yeah,
net of, rape culture. But
right.
still, I
I'm
felt
like,
this.
in high school, though? I'm like, in high school? I'm like, where's this kid getting these roofies from? He's in high school. He's not
Money,
college. You
money,
expect this to happen
money,
in college.
money. Can we say, what was the damn show? Euphoria? Come on now. And
Yeah, that's
Euphoria
true.
wasn't even elite boarding school. And they
Look.
had drugs. I think about my high school. I knew they had drugs. I think the thing is that our level of drugs when you were in high school and when I was in high school is totally different than
It
what.
was weed. I'm like a weed head. That was our drugs.
Yeah,
Like it was.
in a little speed.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
talking about who
but
taking roofies?
but
Like
you think
what?
about it that like the level
Yeah,
of drugs, it's increased. You know, you got people,
yeah,
the kids are popping opioids. The opioid addiction is crazy now. So I
yeah.
wasn't really surprised about that. I was like you was surprised that kids are high school kids and they know
Hmm.
slang. I was like, is this high school? It was really weird. The Jane
Yeah.
Austen and the gentleman stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know you guys are elite, but you also are teenagers.
Yes, and also yes, we are Americans, and we don't go to private, sleepaway schools, right?
Right.
Boarding schools.
Hmm.
So is this a boarding school thing, or is this a English boarding school thing, or are we correct and this is not normal even in a boarding school situation? Do kids talk like that?
Yeah. I'd be curious to know, but it still just didn't feel YA-ish to me. And then
Yeah,
the other thing is I may not be the audience for this book. And like you were
right.
saying, I know it's been a long time, but they were getting on my damn nerve. The hi, hey. And I was like,
Hey.
girl, all I could think of was the idea of you and
Oh gosh.
hi. And I was like, okay, maybe this is how teenagers talk. Because he was a young guy, but it was always that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
her characters were very bland, one
Yes.
dimensional. I
Yeah.
thought Sade, the main character, was boring as hell.
She was until okay, so she didn't even get really interesting to me until she went to the game and someone said, "Hey, I know you." And I'm like, "Oh, that's the second person that did that." And then I said, "She got a twin." I thought that immediately. I'm like, "Oh, she has a twin sister because they are insistent. I know you. I've
Yeah.
seen you."
Hmm.
I'm like, "Here we go."
Right. Because the other thing is in this elite kind of school,
Mhm.
it's rare to have a black girl. Because I think the
Mhm.
only other black girl in the school that she's in is the one who braided her hair. One. So you know what I mean? Like this circle of people, for them to say, I know you,
Mhm.
you have to either, having a doppelganger, yeah. But in that circle, it's kind of rare.
It
And I
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too, like, and I was like, who is, because at the beginning we keep hearing, you shouldn't have came here, and we
Mhm.
hear about her dreams of someone floating in the water, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
So at first I was like, does she have like multiple personality disorder? I'm like, what is happening? Like, is she talking to herself? Like, is she imagining this?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? And I do think it was her imagination. She was just imagining her sister would say that to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it made sense later, but on the on front, it's kind of like,
Yeah, it was because it's like I was wondering is she trying to throw us like a red herring? Because I was like,
mm-hmm,
did she kill somebody? Is that why she was so worried that they would think when her roommate Elizabeth went missing that hey, you got a past,
mm-hmm,
you've killed someone before, or could possibly be in the midst of being a suspect, and then
mm-hmm.
the anagrams, and then the
Which was
Morse.
weird.
Oh my
That was
girl.
strange. I'm like, what is this? I almost just really glazed over those. I'm like, I don't understand what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah, and I felt that way too, that maybe in print this comes off better than audio, but I felt like that served no purpose. But I'm assuming the anagrams were journal entries now later, once we realize that her sister, little backstory, the sister was raped by
Oh,
Jack the Ripper, Mr. Jude Rippling,
Yeah.
at another school, and he got transferred. And her sister was writing in her journal. And I'm assuming those anagrams were journal entries.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why do I have to think this much?
Yeah, I agree. And this is what I did not understand. So there were two things that happened when the whole Jude confrontation thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're at the party. She slips him the roofie. He's, they're in the room, and she's like, kind of like waiting for him to like fade. And then,
yes, she was.
Yeah, and
I'll give you a gift soon.
Yeah, in a minute.
You got your gift. I'm just waiting for it to take place.
Yeah. And then she like he's like, I've seen you before. It kind of does this thing. And it took him a long time to figure out to call her Jamila or whatever. I'm like, but they're twins. Wouldn't you remember someone who you raped? And you had to leave school because of this?
Yeah.
How did you not see her?
Yeah.
And instantly, like, yeah. How did that not happen?
Because later on in the book, when Elizabeth went searching about Jude's history, she comes across basically kind of like a Reddit thread, or
oh my God, with other people saying
that he's a
rapist.
And she comes across Jamila's comments, and she immediately recognized.
Yes. And then she goes, well, maybe I'm tripping because she doesn't recognize me.
Mm-hmm.
And they had what, one video call or something?
Yeah. And then here was the other, right, they did. And here's the other thing that I thought of, and I was like, maybe I might be reaching, but I've had this experience before. White people don't see us or recognize us or remember us like we remember them. And that's one thing that I felt like it didn't hit him until he got into that same situation.
Yeah. She's like, it feels weird, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You can't look.
Yeah.
Like,
I felt
happening?
like all of a sudden he got in, like, it was like a deja vu, like, this feels, and all of a sudden he begins to see, wait a minute. But
and I was kind of mad at that scene at the same time, because then the author just cuts away. And I'm like, what did she do to him? What did she do? Did she do anything? I'm like, cut his balls off. I'm like, why did she do anything?
Kick him in the balls. Something.
Oh my God, something. Like, I know she wasn't going to do that because she's not a killer, but I'm like,
kick him in the balls.
Tie him up. Take photos of him. Post him on the thing. Like, do something. And I'm like, what?
I knew she did something when she stopped the freaking recording. Yeah. Now that right there was like the perfect time to get his ass back.
Mm-hmm. I would have posted him all over everything. He would not remember what happened.
All the stuff.
I would have put stuff in his hand. He would have been like, he would have been effed up. He would be so messed up with all those photos. Yeah, he would run from the school.
What you did to my sister?
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna roofie you?
Yeah. Something gonna happen to you.
And she committed suicide. Please.
You gonna get it in spades.
Oh, bruh.
You gonna be so embarrassed.
About revenge.
Yeah, she had the opportunity, and then she left, and then she comes back. I'm like, okay, first you do all that, and then you leave your fucking coat and your phone? Like, what kind of you're not doing nothing.
No.
What is this?
If this was going to be a revenge book, this is what, like, you came back for revenge.
Get revenge. Roofing him was not enough revenge.
My twin sister, my second heartbeat, committed suicide.
Right. Because
of my sister, who wasn't my twin, committed suicide because one of you raped her, you can best believe you will be more than roofied.
Your
I
ass will
won't
be
kill
posted
you.
all over the internet
Yeah,
with
I won't
links
kill
of
you
you and
because,
everything.
I don't look good in an orange jumpsuit.
Mm-mm.
Look good in this orange. But anywho,
Yeah.
but not an orange jumpsuit. And
No.
I'm not cleaning Big Bertha's drawers and sink in our little cell.
I
But
mean, honestly, at the very least, she could have used that same secret messenger that they were using
thank you.
and shared it with all of them. And he would have been so embarrassed with all the guys on that thing, and it would have got out.
Let's note this. Perfect. I love that you said that. You brought it back to me. Here you have freaking Kwame on your
Yeah.
team. A darn tech geek.
Yeah.
The same way they had this little code and you got Kwame, who was introduced early on in the story. Why didn't you guys use him to your advantage? Like, what was the one book we read? First Light Wins?
Mm-hmm.
And the black, that's what I thought of when I saw that Kwame was, I was like, oh, you got a black geek.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They could have she could have did all of that and never, it would have took a long time for them to find her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she spent hundreds of pages on all this backstory shit on Persephone and I mean Persephone's story did wind up coming into play.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of validate what was being told about Jude. But some of the other minutia, I'm just like, oh my God. And then, like you said, the story didn't pick up until what we were like at the 50-60% mark.
Yeah.
And then at the 80% mark, that's when shit gets real. But then it felt like she was just giving us all this stuff. And I'm just like,
it was a lot at the end.
80%.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just like, blah, 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 blah. And then I think at another percentage, that's when we learned about Jamila. And then the Elizabeth is found. And I'm like,
and the
God,
twins.
when is this gonna end?
What were the twins? August and Alice?
April.
Yeah. I'm like, what the
girl?
August ass. I'm like, I knew you couldn't trust him from the beginning. Sly mother.
TG, the gentleman.
I'm like, ew, that is disgusting.
You know what? And I didn't even put the two things together. You got August, the two sets of twins. You got Jamila and Sade, and then August and April.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too much. It was
a lot.
It really was. And I'm like, is YA mystery different than regular mystery? What is the Yeah, I just wasn't sure. It really threw me.
I feel I've read a couple of YA mysteries. This is definitely not my jam. I don't read a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But this just, it's like you mentioned that show. What's the name of that damn show? Right, Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
This was Euphoria on the page. It was so extreme. Everything was so extreme. At the end, it was like these unbelievable, like these kids are acting like adults. They getting away with shit like adults.
But you know what privilege does? I felt like this was like one of the main themes of this book, privilege, especially men with privilege.
They're in London and it takes a couple hours to get to Paris. But still, you taking dates to Paris?
And the museum. He gets keys to the museum. And I was like, okay, this definitely is out of my league. And I was not even impressed to read this. I was just like, okay, this is how the elite look. Okay.
And they were
they weren't interesting.
Sade was so excited to be in this old ass museum. Like, what 11th grader thinks an old ass museum is a great date? She's a third year.
Not just that, a homeschooled.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the thing. Maybe because she had been homeschooled and hadn't been out. Maybe that was it.
It doesn't take much to impress her, apparently.
But yeah, it was just, I was like, I'm not grasping this. Is YA mystery. And then I'm thinking to myself, I can't say that because her first book we read, I believe that was her debut, was phenomenal. I mean, everything lined up. She
Mm-hmm.
closed gaps. She didn't leave us with just all this extra shit. It may have been, it's been a while, but this just seemed like it was just so much extra stuff. And the story, I began to lose the story. It became white noise to
I
me as
agree.
I was listening. And I don't know if it was the narrator. There weren't like Persephone. Persephone was so damn bland. I was like, can somebody give her a jolt?
So let me make a comment on Persephone and Sade. So I could tell that she was flirting with her the entire book.
Mm-hmm.
And Sade's so like oblivious.
Yeah.
And then it's like I think she kind of catches a clue, but I'm like, well, wait, does she like is she bi? Does she like boys and girls? What exactly is happening here?
Yeah.
Like, is she just putting on this show? Because it seemed like she was into August for a second. And then
Mm-hmm.
of course she played Jude. I mean, she did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So she
Exactly.
didn't really like him, but
Right.
you know, but I'm like, but did she like August though? I'm like, I'm not really clear. It just seemed weird. The relationships were weird.
I
I
agree.
think she wanted us to really like Persephone, and I did like the character overall. I didn't really have any big issues with her, but
No.
uh,
But she was, but I don't know if it was the narrator, but I just felt like she was so dry.
mhm.
And at first it was like, is she snooty?
Yeah, it was like she was talking like that. She was narrating like she was very bored with
Highbrow.
everyone, and yeah, I'm above it,
I'm
and
so smart.
yeah,
Do I really have to help the new girl with her ketchup? Yeah,
yes,
but I knew there was a line in the book that Persephone mentioned with Jude when he raped her, and he said, "I'll get you straight." And I was like, "Ooh, is that a play on words?" Because I had kind of picked up on
now see,
the vibes there too, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, did he try that?" And then, and I also felt like here you have what's her name, Sade up there telling Basil, Kwame is into you. You can't figure that, and you didn't see Persephone was into
exactly.
you.
Yeah,
Come on.
Basil was told okay, and like honestly, Sade was explaining to Basil like she said, "You suck at German. You're bad at it." And he's asking you for help in German.
He
He's
just
like,
wants to be in your
"Oh,
company. He was the only
duh."
interesting character.
What, Basil?
Yeah, I felt like he was the only one that had some life and some dimension. But yeah, it was just and the angst, and that's why I said this book may not be for me because I was just like, oh my god, and I was like, I don't remember feeling like this as a teenager, but there's a book out there for everybody, and maybe this is something that this age group likes, like that social commentary, and all. It drove me bananas.
Mm,
It did. I was just like,
mhm,
when is this book gonna be over so we can
mhm.
record this? Because I'm tired. I'm,
So,
I'm so
I
tired.
I feel like had the author sprinkled the reveals more throughout instead of loading us at the end,
Oh
it might
yes,
have been better. Like, give us something at 30%, give us something at
yeah.
50
To
and
hold
60.
on to
Uh-huh.
because it was painful.
Mhm.
It was really painful because I was like, where are we going?
It was so dull. I was just like you kind of zoning out,
It
like
was
having to
Charlie Brown
re-listen.
teacher.
Yeah. Mhm.
I did. I had to repeat. I think you said that too. Like I had to go back and I was like, did I miss something? Okay,
Mhm.
Elizabeth is missing. Da, 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 da. Okay, she's still
Mhm.
missing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's still missing. Nothing has been, nothing new.
Even that part was it Persephone who said that Jude is a rapist? Was it her? She
Hmm.
said that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, did she? Okay, so at first I thought he had got her, and then later I'm like, oh, he didn't. She had just I think she had found out that he was doing this to other people because she was friends. No, that was April who was friends with Elizabeth. Something got mixed up there, but something that happened like pretty immediately after that.
Persephone was raped by Jude.
Okay, so who was it that wasn't but almost was? It was someone who almost was. Was it April? Was it April? She dated him
April,
for a minute.
Right. April dated him. Elizabeth
told
I don't know
her.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he raped her or not.
Raped her.
Yeah. Because he drugged her and she wasn't sure.
Because she said, "Oh, how dare you sleep with my boyfriend?" She like, "Hold on, bitch, hold on. I didn't sleep with your fucking boyfriend. He attacked me."
Yeah.
And she just, oh my God.
Yeah, but I thought Persephone was raped. And I know she said he kept, or maybe
I feel like he was just like kept trying to get
to her,
and
but he
it
didn't.
wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
but she
thought.
knew he had the capability of being a rapist.
Yeah, that's why she didn't want Sade around him, because he is a rapist. He would have got me. I feel like she was warning her not because she that had actually happened to her, but because she felt threatened and she thought it was going to happen to her.
Right. And she had heard the rumors too around campus about him in Paris and all this and that. And she, and she said he kept rubbing up on her, even though you're dating my best friend.
That is so nasty.
Me.
That's so nasty.
Yeah.
I cannot. And the fact that, and it is this typical trope of, in this case, it's a swim team, not the football team. They love the swim team here. These guys, the top boy and top girl and the swimmers and all of this bullshit. And, Elizabeth went to what did they call them? The
Hawking party?
Whoever's in charge, is the chancellor, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
And she basically said, "Hey, Jude did this, and he's the captain or whatever." And he basically told her, you may want to think about this before we go further. Yeah. Because technically you're breaking XYZ rule and you might not get your scholarship anymore. Like, how dare you?
And that happens.
I was disgusted.
I've seen it.
I'm like, over some fucking swimmers? What the fuck? This high school.
Money, scholarships, legacy. I've seen it at a university. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a quick break, though. We're going to take a quick break. Check out these commercials by listening to those. You are supporting the podcast. Don't forget to check out the book review journal, available right now on Amazon. And we'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. All right, welcome back, you guys. What is next? What else I know we were on a roll, but I'm like, what else should we?
I know, it got heavy there for a while.
It did get heavy.
Was just like,
we need a break from the heavy. I'm like, oh my God. And it was all, again, y'all, and I'm sorry if I said this for the 5th time or 6th time, but it was all jam-packed at the end. All of this, the last 20%, just all of this stuff, all this bad stuff was coming out. It was really sad at the end.
It was word vomit. It really was. And I agree with you when you said that if she would have slowly just kind of did slow reveals, it would have been better. I think I'd have been able to digest the story more. Yeah. Like little breadcrumbs, baby. Like, I feel like this could be a great story. And I feel like she needs to hang out with some real good mystery writers, because she has the guts and the gumption. She has it, and she has a good following. This dark academia, I think she has it, but I think she needs to get in with a good mystery person, and so they can show her how to slowly roll this out. And I think they shortchange her because it's YA. Like, I feel like They think they could just throw in some YA fun stuff and that group, they're going to buy it.
Because you know what? You're right. And like thinking as a person, like hindsight, as a person who's read it, I feel like the author should have given us the Jamila reveal halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we would be rooting for Sade to get his ass the whole time.
Yeah.
Then our perception of her dealings with him would have been different.
Totally different. Yeah.
It would have been like, go.
Yes. And I can't wait to get to the end.
Yes.
Because I want to know, not, Lord have mercy, I can't wait till this book ends. It'd have been
what
a
is
totally
happening?
different eagerness in the story.
Yeah, because then the reveals about Elizabeth and the reveals about, who killed him, what's his face, that would have been at the end. You still would have reveals for the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, basically it was two mysteries in here.
Yeah.
It was, where's Elizabeth and who killed Jude?
Mm-hmm.
So here you got these two big mysteries, and at the 80% mark, you throw us all this shit at the wall. And you like, okay, readers. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps. And especially with this book, 416 pages, 16 hours, you guys. 16 hours.
This narrator was talking slow as fuck. And I had to, at first I was listening on 1.5, then I was listening on 1.7, and then I was listening on 2x at the end.
Yep. I did 2.15 because I got to get over this. I got to get through it. And it didn't really, it was just, but yeah, I think she has the, the writing chops.
Yeah.
But she just needs to get with some good old adult. I know she's an adult, but with some, fiction, some mystery writers, some old school people who've done this for a little bit and have them break that shit down and be like, baby girl.
Yeah.
This is a great story, but you can't do that to the reader. But again, that may be how YA does it, but
maybe.
Yeah, but here you have two adults who loved your Ace of Spades.
Yeah. And I don't know, I can't speak for today's young readers, but I know myself, I would have been bored out of my mind with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As a teen.
It took too long.
I like the drama. Bring me the drama. Bring the drama. I was always, why the hell was I reading V.C. Andrews as a child? I want the drama. Bring the drama. I want the drama.
The more salacious, the better. And that's the thing, like her salaciousness in this story was money and they go to Paris and no, babe, no.
No, I was getting like, I don't know. I feel like she was trying to get like the snootiness and entitlement of Gossip Girl. But it didn't quite hit the mark because even like the Unholy Girls, I'm like, what is the Unholy Trinity or whatever?
Yes.
I'm like, they're not that
bad.
What is this? Are you going for the girls that were in like what's that show? The Netflix adaptation of with it's on my brain. They had these little witches, the witch show. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I do.
They had those three girls that were like mean girls. I thought it was going to be like that. Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, the redo.
Okay.
So I'm like, is she going for that? Is that the vibe we're going for? Because, again, it's kind of like a private school. The three mean girls, but the three mean girls weren't really mean girls.
Yeah, they weren't.
And it was just...
They weren't mean at all. They were snooty.
Get the vibe.
No.
Yeah.
They were just snooty. They didn't do anything awful. I mean, granted at the end about you sleeping with my boyfriend, but that ain't mean.
Of course, April covered for her brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course she would, though. That's her twin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was awful. He turned out to be... He went from someone who was pretty... what's the word? Like, he wasn't a good person, but he was pretty... like nothing to really worry about. You know, he's a
Yeah.
little douchey, but you know,
Yeah.
he's whatever.
Right.
To someone who was really asinine at the end, I'm like, what? He just flipped his script so fucking fast,
And
right
that
at the
part,
end.
and that's the thing, like, here you have. Now, that's why I was saying she has the writing chops.
Yeah.
The way she wrote him, perfect. But the reveal, how long? You know, like we didn't see, I think we saw little snippets of him turning, like a facial expression, but that was, I think we were like 70-80% in. That
Yeah,
we
it was
realized that
far.
he was a like you said, a douchebag. The
Yeah.
gentleman, Augustus, blah,
Oh
blah,
God.
blah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, like there were little things like he lied about dating April. Oh, we were just hooking up. But that, you know, so yeah. But yeah.
Oh,
And
Elizabeth.
I
He
was
died about dating Elizabeth.
yeah, but I was like, "Oh, we got us a black villain." Okay. I see you. I see you, Faraday. I see
Yeah.
you there. Yeah, cuz
That
everybody
was
was looking
wild.
for everybody was looking for somebody else to be that guy.
And then he like totally and this is what is the worst about Augustus is or August, excuse me, whatever
Yeah.
he goes by August. Um he walks in while Jude is attacking his girlfriend. Yeah, they broke up. They were dating in secret.
Yeah.
And he had the nerve to be mad at her. Like, you slept with him. Bitch, you saw what happened. You know what he does. You know what he does. So I couldn't really grasp why he was, I don't know. Was he scared
I
of
think
Jude?
so. I
Like,
felt like that. I felt like because you know, he was what a reserve, right? Did
yeah.
you yeah. So I felt like he was afraid of his position on the team. Um what did they say?
He had
Bros
a
be
spot and then he was put back to reserve again, which he was upset about.
Mhm. And I felt like it was bros before hoes, as they say. And I also feel like that, and I don't know because it wasn't really revealed that, you know, because in that group, there's secrets,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know, and I felt like he kind of was like, oh, if I do go against you, you might
They all have
reveal,
secrets on each
mm-hmm,
other. Yeah.
yeah, that, you know, maybe my secret is going to get out and then I won't get whatever. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that teenage angst girl, I was just like, oh,
Everybody just turned a blind eye.
yeah,
And I really felt bad for Elizabeth, but then I really didn't understand. Okay, so she confronted Jude. Well, she called August to speak to him.
mm-hmm.
And Jude shows up with August. And August lets him get in her face and almost strangle her.
Well, for one, August, you had to tell Jude
Yeah. Why did you even tell him?
because he was the follower.
Mm-hmm.
He was a follower.
Not good.
Yeah.
So she ends up in a pool with her head like a concussion.
Yeah.
And they were going to just leave her ass to die. But I guess
let the concrete. Yeah, they were hoping
yeah,
the concrete was gonna cover.
yeah, like let's just fiddle with this stuff, these machines, and see what happens. But then at the last moment, he gets a little bit of a conscious, and he goes and gets his sister. August goes and gets his sister, and she's like, "What the fuck? Let's get her out of here."
You
She puts
idiot.
her in the shower, and they go from there. But I'm like,
The chick has a concussion.
mm-hmm. So the whole time, April knew she was there.
And you know what? Yeah.
So everyone's like, and then of course did August write that? Oh, from her aunt that she had, that the aunt that died that she had left.
That's what
So
I'm
y'all
thinking.
just gonna leave her down there forever? I'm not clear on what the goal was there.
Yeah. The more you talk about this, I'm wondering, and we said this before, that some books are beginning to be written more for a television or some kind of series instead of books. Because this could be, as long as it could be a nice little series. Probably would play out better on television than it would in this book.
It might.
But yeah, I'm not sure what the goal was with Elizabeth either, leaving her there. But I felt, that's just one of those people that would be like, let somebody else figure that out.
And then why at that point did April bring her back up to the room and say, "We found her"? Yeah, what was that? I'm like, I think I
knew
just don't
she was
have
lying
that.
when they said, "Yeah, I just found her."
Yeah,
and she said, "You just found her," and she's discombobulated. But she said she didn't want the ambulance called.
It was weird. Don't call the ambulance. She doesn't want the ambulance called.
And I know teenagers, there's a certain part of it, the frontal lobe is not that developed. Maybe that's what's going on in these books. So, teenagers, there's something, I can't remember which part.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're going for with teenage, just YA stuff.
I
But
don't know. Because it was weird because Elizabeth was down there. She had a concussion. She knew how to help herself with the cut on her head. She's sending black light bulbs to Sade so she could see the writing on the wall. It's so weird. What is the motivation here? I don't understand. Even Sade said to her, "So you thought a total stranger would figure this out?" But then the answer wasn't clear when she replied. I'm like, this still don't make sense. I don't understand.
Nope.
Why?
Nope.
It's so weird.
Look,
it would have been
even
better.
Sade didn't get it. You think we got it? Dear reader, no. If Sade didn't even understand it, shit.
Yeah. And honestly, had Elizabeth just told her, "Hey, you look like someone I talked to before." Her name was Jamila. She would have said, "That's my sister." And guess what? They would have been on the same fucking team immediately. Because she would have told her, all she had to say was speak up, like, "You look like this girl I spoke to." Like her.
Yeah. Because that's what I do too. Like, if I'm like, "You look, does anybody ever tell you?" Yeah.
So weird. So even at the end, even though all these things kind of came out and the coincidences of them knowing this, she knew her sister and she's there for justice and all this, it was lost because it just didn't gel for me. All these things tumbled out the closet, but it was still what was the original motivation that made this work?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't even try to figure it out. Yeah, because I'm even going back to the rat, on the door, and yeah, it was a lot. It was, I think, and even with the slow reveals, something should have been taken out. I don't know what 100 pages could have been removed, or plot, or whatever, but it was just too much. The wrap up was quick.
Yeah, that could have been tightened up. The pages could have been cut. The plot reorganized a little bit. Her editor.
That's why I said maybe YA stuff is different. I don't know, but it was just bad.
Yeah. And I feel horrible feeling like that, but it's the truth. Y'all know we can't lie on this show. We can't even fake it.
I tried, but I could not wait till this book was over.
Yeah. We cannot fake it. And
if I'm listening at 2.15, you know it's bad. And not just to say that the narrator was slow, but I was trying to hurry get through 16 hours.
I couldn't believe it was that long. Honestly, this should have been an 8-hour audiobook. It should have been 8 hours.
An hour at 16 hours it seemed like it took forever, especially at even 1.5. It was not an hour. 1.5 of that at an hour was 2 hours, it felt like. And maybe because the story was just that long and drawn out, I don't know. But it took forever. I would look at the timer and I was like, I got how many? Oh my God, I'm still at 4 hours left.
Oh, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. So, I mean, okay. So ultimately, I guess the end was entertaining. The ending was entertaining, but it still left me feeling empty.
Yeah. It was.
I didn't feel satisfaction, even though it was a lot of drama at the end.
Nope, I didn't either. I just felt like, okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me all that. But I didn't. I had no emotions for anybody. I'm sorry. I didn't feel like, oh, I didn't. I was just like, okay, woo.
Even the author she did so much more for Ace of Spades. Like she did, character introductions on her website. She did a playlist on her website.
Yeah, I do
When I
remember
went
that.
there for this book, none of that exists for this book. None of it. There's
So I
some
wonder,
drawings there's 2 drawings at the bottom that some artist did.
so I wonder because of the success of that first one, because they usually give you a nice little, oh, this did you get in advance? Can you get another book out within? Because she has another book coming out this year.
Oh, really? What is it? Let me look right quick.
I'm
Do you
not
know it?
reading it, but I know it's coming out. So that's
Yeah,
2
this
books
is.
in 1 year. So I wonder if, yeah, that's
Yeah, I definitely don't think this was such a far swing in the opposite direction. I'm not thinking I'll probably read anything else.
nope.
And to be honest, even though we keep talking about how much we liked Ace of Spades, we did. I remember I only rated that a 4. And a 4 is really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a 5-star read, it was a 4-star read.
No, because we did have some issues. I can't remember what, but it's still like, I think when we got to the end, it was satisfying. If I should use what you said with this ending, that it wasn't satisfying. Because I think I struggled too a little bit with that one, and then all of a sudden it started coming together, and I was like, oh, and she tied, all the loopholes and all that. Everything was wrapped up pretty tight, but it was a satisfied ending, and with that book, I thought we even thought like, ooh, the way she left it, it could have been a book 2.
Like I felt like didn't like the school burn down at the end?
Yes, because
Yeah, it was like a fire.
And somebody said it. One of them said it because they had a little secret society as well, and like somebody became like a mentor later on in life and started a new whatever. But yeah, with her new books, I think it was like the white guy dies in the end or something. I don't see it on Goodreads, but
I don't
but
know.
I know when we were looking it up at book club, I remember. Are you on her website?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was having another book come out. It's not on there yet.
I don't see it. Well, let's
4
see. There's
Ids
something
and a
called the
funeral.
Doomsday Date, but that's a free book for World Book Club Day. That was earlier. Let's see. 4
Ids and
Ids at a funeral.
That's something Muslim.
Anthologies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. The white guy dies first. It comes out July 16th.
Okay.
13 scary stories, 13
is that an
authors of
anthology?
color. Yes, 13 times we survived the first kill.
Okay. That's the anthology one. Okay.
I'm curious to see who else is in that anthology though, because I do like a little. This just sounds like horror. Like they say, Killer Clowns is one of the stories.
Ooh.
Let's see. I don't recognize any of these. Kadir Blake. Okay. Let's see. I know it's that Tiffany D. Jackson. Okay.
Ooh. That says a lot there.
Yeah. Chloe Gong. Okay.
Oh, I've never read her. Alexis Henderson does write horror. Kaylin Bayron. Lamar. Oh, this looks like a nice little group here.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The white guy dies first. Yeah, so I might check this one out just because I like a lot of these authors.
Yeah. And quick 13 stories and a quick little some quick little stories.
Yeah, it's only 320 pages.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
Yeah. All right, y'all, we're going to jump into the rating. I think we've exhausted our conversation on this book.
Yeah, it's becoming repetitive.
Yes. Okay, let's get to it. What would you rate Where Sleeping Girls Lie, which, by the way, I don't even understand what the title has to do with anything.
Too, and the cover. I know we say we exhausted it, but all I could think of was because she was lying in the pool. Oh, now that we talk about it, her sister died in the water. Elizabeth almost died in the water.
Well, that was an empty pool.
Right.
Elizabeth fell into an empty pool.
They lied.
Yeah.
But damn, that was a stretch too.
That was a stretch. What's
We're
up with the bird, though? The bird on the cover?
The bird. There was something mentioned about birds. Oh, shoot. Where was the birds mentioned? Was that in one of her sister's journal entries?
I don't know.
I know. Okay, y'all, let's just go. We done. We can't wait. 2? I gave it a 2.
We on the same page. So I give it a 2 too. 2. But yeah, that's where I come in. I
cannot wait to tell you 2. That's what I give it.
I was really hoping that, everyone keeps saying how it gets good at the end and
who said
blah,
that?
blah, blah. Well, on some of these comments on Goodreads.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was hoping. I just don't understand the 5 stars. I don't understand them.
No. And that's why I was saying maybe this is how that age group sees things. Because, yeah.
Wonk, wonk.
Yeah.
And by the time this goes up, I think our book club would have talked about it already. Maybe not. Wait, let's see. Let's look at the calendar because we'll have book club after this airs. So I invite you, come over to the book club's app. If you've read this book and you want to talk about it with us and you have a different opinion,
yes,
or even the same opinion, I'm okay with people co-signing.
Yeah,
come on over and chat with us because we have lots of people who read this book along with us, and I'm sure they have thoughts as well.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, I can't wait to hear. Because like you said, if somebody liked it, I want to know, what am I missing? Or what did you like about it? Because I may not be the audience. And if the audience of the people, like if in our group, someone likes it, I want to know why.
Yeah, me too.
Not to say that I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. This isn't my group. This isn't my book. There's a book out for everybody. And maybe this addresses something that someone connects with, but I have no connection at all.
It was a mess.
Yeah. And not to downplay rape at all. But I just didn't connect with the story, how it was told, none of it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Feels like it was more, I don't know, I'm going to stop there. But yeah.
Yeah. And narrator, I did not like the narrator.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think, she's not my cup of tea.
Nope.
Okay, so for August, we are really going to take a left turn away from this vibe, and we are going to do a Alex Finlay book. We're going to do If Something Happens to Me.
Yes. Come on, Alex, let's go.
Yeah, we read him before, and I hope that, we read The Night Shift, which I gave a 4-star. I really like that. I don't remember. What did you give The Night Shift? I know we didn't do that one together, but you read it.
I might have gave that a 3. 3. But it wasn't horrible. Yeah, I gave it a 3.
Okay. And I wanted to read another book by him, but I just never got to it. So I just thought it would be fun to mix it up. Okay. We haven't had a male author in a minute, so it's time.
Yeah.
And let's see how Alex Finlay does with us on our August buddy read.
Absolutely.
Wish us luck, you guys.
Yeah, because you know what? We really haven't had any luck this year.
No, I don't think we've had any 5 stars yet. Have
I don't
we?
think so. No.
Oh no, it's only okay. We still have we have a chance. We still have a chance to get 1 or 2 5 stars by the end of the year.
Let me see here really quick. I'm going to look at Goodreads. Okay, drowning. We've had some 4s. Well, I had. Oh, well, one was Look Closer was very close to
Mm-hmm.
being a 5. But yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Let's see. Yeah, Look Closer, I gave a 4.
Yep.
Oh, well, I like Young Women. You didn't. I gave that a 4.
I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
We have really, this year is probably one of the very rare years that
We've deviated a couple times.
Yes. Yeah.
Drowning, I gave a 4. What did you give Drowning?
A 4.
Okay.
I was at a 3, but by the time we got finished talking about it and me realizing that this really wasn't a mystery, I think that was our discussion, like, because I was looking for a mystery, because I was just like, so and so did it. He made the plane go down, and it wasn't that type of book. And I was like, okay, now that I got my expectations in line, I gave it a 4. But yeah. David Ellis's book was, and I'm looking forward. He's coming out with another one this year, I think. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe we'll have to add him for next go around.
Yeah, if it's not next year, if it's not this year, it's early next year that he's coming out with another book. So.
Oh, let's see. Is this it? No.
The Best Lies. The Best Lies, July 2024. I'm looking on his website. Say what?
The Best Lies?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Well,
looky. Okay, well, that looks fun. The cover art looks interesting.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, well, all right, y'all. If you've read this and you think we should read it, let us know.
Yeah.
Should we add this to our buddy reads list?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know what? We were looking for us. Okay, we'll get into an after show. Y'all want to hear this conversation? We will continue it on the after show.
Because we could go there. You guys don't want to hear. We've done enough with you.
Yes, you've had enough of us for today. We will catch you next month. Thanks for listening to this entire episode. We appreciate you for doing that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before you go, and we will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye, guys. Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave a positive 5-star review. It's a simple action that makes a big difference. You can also like this episode on your favorite podcast player or share it with your fellow bookworm friends on social media. Joining the Shelf Addiction Patreon family is another way to support us. For as little as $2 a month, you can help our team create even more amazing bookish content. If Patreon isn't your thing, consider becoming a supporter on the Spreaker app for just $5 a month and gain access to exclusive audio-only content. You can find me everywhere, including Instagram, X, and TikTok under the handle Shelf Addiction. Join our book club of the same name on the book club's website and app, where we discuss all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. Thanks for tuning in.